Did you know that you can access all of NASA's data right on their website from your home on your computer for free? I'm going to show you some of the really, really cool things that you can see of satellite imagery that NASA's provided us. So stick around. Hello. Every year I teach my students about NASA. NASA's website is nasa.gov, and they have some really cool information on this website. But it's sort of just I don't know. Let's sort of learn about NASA and see what they're doing. The cool thing about NASA is what they do is they provide all their data to the public, and we have access to it. Now, it used to be, and maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I was ever seeing it, it was sort of data dumps. You just had to download data and try to make sense out of it on your own. At least that's what I used to see. Now they still have that. However, they have some interactive, really, really nice looking ways of looking at the data. So if you go to worldview.earthdata.nasa.gov, they have this beautiful interface. And I want to show you some examples of sort of what you can see. So there's a lot of satellite data that they're collecting about the Earth at all times. All right. So for instance, we can click on Earth at night, and we can see what the Earth looks like at night. It says viewing the Earth at night affords us a different view of the Earth's surface. And as we click through this tour, it shows us different areas and sort of what it looks like. As you scroll through this, it will show you the lights at night. And maybe you've seen this before. This isn't really mind-boggling to me. These are things that I've seen before, but I do see a lot more opportunity in NASA's Worldview than Google Earth for this. Now, let me move forward and show you some of the really cool features of this. So not just looking at sort of a static picture like this. You can zoom in. It's not always the highest quality depending on if these, you'll notice when I zoom in too much, these little exclamations start showing up. It says layer is over zoomed by 1 time its maximum zoom level. So you'll see it's not the nicest looking. So if I zoom out, that's the zoom level it's supposed to be at. But let's click back on Worldview, and we can look at some of the other information, which is really cool. We can look, these are the bushfires in Australia. If we click on it, they have this preset up. You can pull this information up on your own, but they're talking about the fires that are happening right here on the East Coast. If we click next, it'll zoom in. And if we hit play, I'll hit play and let it load while I'm reading. It says press the play button to view the smoke emanating from fires burning from September 7th to September 30th, 2019 in New South Wales and Queensland with imagery from the Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suites instrument on board the joint NASA-NOAA Suomi National Polar Orbiting Partnership satellite. So we got these satellites up in space, they're collecting information, and now we have access to that information. Now you'll see sometimes this takes a long time to load. What it's doing is it is loading every single day, right? Every single day between September 7th and September 30th for these layers. Okay, so for instance, right now we have fires and thermal anomalies. I'd imagine that is that's the one we're looking at. It's showing us where the fires are. That's what the red is. It has the labels, coastlines. If we want to turn any of that off, we can. So maybe I want to turn off some of these coastlines, right? Now they take the labels off. But we can start seeing sort of how this works. Now, obviously, there's a lot of cloud cover. On the next one, it's going to be pretty amazing. Now, you could change these days. So if we wanted to look at this area at a different time, as long as they have that data, you can, and it will load it. Let's move on to the next one, though. This looks really, really cool. I'll hit play right away. It says, as the fire season has progressed, fires have spread further down the coast. Press the play button to watch smoke emitted by fires in the state of Victoria dramatically increase in the time between the 3rd of January to the 4th of January. So look at the smoke coming out here. Obviously, horrible, horrible things. The fires were awful. But what I'm saying is this data is amazing, and being able to visualize it and see how big it is. I could zoom out if I want. Obviously, it needs to load that data. I could zoom in possibly more. Let's see. So this starts giving me right? Starts giving me some errors, and that's the layer that we're looking at. The way I get rid of it is I hit the eye and it just hides that layer. Absolutely amazing. The highest resolution is when this disappears. So that's the highest resolution I can get, but I can still zoom in, sort of look at what's going on. All right, I could change the days. So maybe I want to go one more day and see what happened on the 5th. It will continue to load it. Let me hit play. And it will load that information for the additional day. Now you could do all year. That might take a long time. The cool thing is this is animated map in 10 minutes. So what it's doing is it's showing us what those clouds looked like every 10 minutes. Absolutely amazing. Now it's black because it's nighttime, right? Right here. It's 12 p.m. Or is this UTC? I'm not sure what the time is, but this is nighttime. That's why it's dark. And it's still loading those. But it's absolutely amazing what we can see. Oh, wow. All right, so you could go by your home. I'm sure. Let me zoom out. I'm going to pause this. I'm in the United States. Let me go over to the United States. Okay, so the satellite was only capturing this information right here. But still, that's pretty amazing. All right, so you can go through all these steps. You can check out all the cool things that it has. You can compare different things. So they have these two different layers. One is showing, it says the fire leaves a mark on the landscape. And these false color images of these bands, we show the difference between the landscape 1 year apart. The left side shows vegetated land in green on the 14th of January. The right side shows the burn scars in dark red on the 11th of January. And so we can slide these back and forth to see the changes that happened. And so if we look here, A, which is on the left, A, it is looking at the corrected reflectance band, that certain one. B is looking at, looks like it's the same band. Interesting. So as we can always look and see exactly what it's looking at. Maybe they were different bands. I must have read it wrong. So we can compare data between the two. Another cool thing is you can change this to spy mode, which I like. Instead of looking at, maybe we'd switch these. Yeah, there we go. So I'm on spy mode. Now I have this circle and I can actually look at the specific area to see how it changed. I can still zoom in, right? But once we start getting errors on those maps, right? I just got those errors, so I'm going to zoom out and see the highest resolution. So we can see those changes. You can also see it through opacity, which I don't know how well that works here, but we can change the opacity. That one doesn't work as well. All right. To get back to the original view, we can click on Worldview. Click OK. And you can look at any of this information. Now, obviously, you can just use these tours and it walks you through everything. Another cool thing is you can click on Add Layers, and you can actually choose, and it wouldn't bring you here. Let me get back. Interesting. Maybe it's because we're on Australia. So let me bring it back here. I just want to see, I want you to see all the options that you'd have. So what you can do is you can say add layers, and you get all these different options for looking at layers. So for instance, maybe I really want to see just human impact on things. I can look up human built up and settlement extent. So I can click on that and it gives me this layer, gives a description of what it is, and then I can look at it. I'm not sure how much that'll show up on the current map we're looking at, and instead of opening one of these, I'm just going to stay with these layers so I can sort of see it. Now, you might wonder why these black shapes are there. The Earth is a sphere, right? And in order to show it on a flat screen, you need to make some changes. And those are the changes that they decided to make. Sometimes you'll also see it where the poles are sort of cut like that. In this case, they didn't do that. They just used this projection. There might be a way to change the projection. I haven't gone into that very much, but I'm sure you can pull something up. But if we go to add layers from this view, we can start getting a little bit more information about certain things that we care about. This one, I don't really like that view. Maybe that's why. We can look at population densities based on different years. So we could compare 2000 to 2020. All right, there's 2020. Oops. And here's 2000. You can see that the population is growing, right? The world population does grow. You could set it up in the comparison maps if you want to say start comparison. Some other certain things change, like they have a little bit higher resolution on all the lakes up here, right? So those, sometimes you'll see that change. You can see, Canada's population changing in certain areas. A lot of different layers, a lot of different things, and you can set the dates, and you can get a lot of cool information. They also have this broken down into scientific or science disciplines. So maybe I want human footprint. Maybe I want to see flood hazards, right? I want to see, where are these, where's the possibility of the most major floods, right? Now, it's not always the highest resolution. If I zoom in, I don't think it's going to get any. Yeah, see that's the highest resolution that layer will give me. But there are a lot of different layers to check out. So I would suggest clicking on Worldview and then checking out these tours, and then you can play around with some of those layers if you'd like. So hopefully that's useful. I think it's a really cool resource, and I don't know, have fun. See ya.